Howdy, Florian here from Life Science Mentor, and tonight I am talking about day 50 of the Idea Machine Challenge, and tonight's topic is 11 ways to make talent work, right? So some people say that in order to achieve something, you need to be talented in a specific discipline. But there are enough cases, and so many cases that show that people who just put in the effort and work hard on a trait they don't really possess to begin with still manage to be successful. In fact, in the book Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell talks about how 10,000 hours of practice put into furthering a talent will yield mastery or very close to it. And there's one example in the Polgar sisters, I think that was their name. It was a Hungarian mathematician, teacher, don't remember exactly, but he was trying to see whether just practice for 10,000 hours would indeed bring about mastery. So nobody was a chess player in his family, and so he started when he had daughters. He started to subject them to a rigorous chess regime. So he made them play chess from 3 or 4 years old onwards, and of course not like strictly make them sit down. So he was making a little bit fun for them, but they would be exposed to playing chess from very early age, like 3 or 4, and then he would do like, I don't know, 2 hours per day or 1 hour per day, so that you would have 20 hours per week, 50 weeks per year, and this is like 1,000 weeks a year. And then after 10 years of playing chess, they indeed became prodigies. They became grandmasters in chess, and all by just no clear level of talent that was recognizable before. There was no chess player in his family, so he showed that you can master something without having a big talent. And I think, to me, there's a mix of both. The more talent you have, the easier something comes to you. If somebody is extremely talented, he will always beat someone who's not talented, and he will beat someone with just 1,000 hours of quick practice. Somebody who's extremely talented will beat somebody with 10,000 hours of practice who's not that talented. So those are the extremes of the spectrum. But in between, most often, 10,000 hours will get you a hell of a lot of mastery, and your talent determines where your horizon is, right? How good you can actually become. But in most cases, after 10,000 hours of practice, you will be on top notch in any case, right? Maybe not world rank between 1 and 10, world rank list tennis player or something like that, right? But vastly over average. And so one thing that makes talent work is put in continuous work, 10,000 hours. And I was thinking about other ways how talent comes about. And that's important because you can basically translate this question into how can we reach our potential? How can we get good in something? And I have come up with 11 points, and I'll just start right away. So the first point is pressure. And right now, you have to excuse myself. I'm sick. This is an old recipe from Germany. You squeeze out a lemon, drink half the lemon juice raw like that, and the other half you pour hot water on it. And so this is a hot lemon. any case, if you think you're getting cold and you maybe don't get enough sleep, what you do is you get some freaking grapefruits, oranges, or lemons, and all together, best, and just eat them, drink them, and whatever. Take as much as you can of those, and then you just might stop a cold from ever becoming bigger. The biggest foes on your way to avoiding cold is shortage of sleep and a cold rain outside, like we have right now here in Jersey City. All right, so pressure. The biggest enemy to progress is not being very poor or very low in the skill that you want to achieve, or being wealthy, or being very on top of your game. No, the biggest impediment to progressing is sort of being alright. When you want to become rich, the people that really become rich, those are consistently the people that had to endure poverty in one point of their life. So they had to be really at the very bottom. I know of people that actually were ready to eat the paint chips from the window, and all they had was just one can of ravioli in the pantry. That was it. So they were really motivated to get more money, and so they took any job they could and then worked themselves out of poverty. But if you sort of like things are okay, then you don't really need what you tend to do is just dial down your desires so that you can just survive and then just get by, somewhat getting by. That's the biggest danger, because you don't have any pressure. So there's something like the Maslow pyramid, where you have the biggest needs like food and shelter on the bottom, and then there's human connection and other things, and they play a smaller role that goes like a pyramid on top, right? And when you don't have the basic needs met, like food and shelter, then you have the biggest pressure on people, and that means people will do anything in their power to achieve the basic needs that they have. But once they have these basic needs, there's this danger of being just fine, being just comfortable enough to not progress. So that's why I'm saying you need pressure. And if your goal is not monetary, you have to figure out. And if you want to improve in something, let's say you want to be better in socializing, but sort of you have your family around, sort of you have your people around, you meet your colleagues at work. There's no real pressure, right? So you want to think about what you really want. Like, let's say you want to date a lot of girls, or for men, and you notice that from time to time you'll be maybe hooking up with a girl now and then, having a girlfriend from time to time, as was for me a long time ago, and there's not really a pressure to improve. But if you really want to improve your dating life, you need to create a vision that is so far away from where you are now that you become hungry to get it, that you really feel that you're poor. And for me, let's stay in the example of dating girls and hooking up with them. I could not, and my wish was to go into a bar and, just any girl that I really liked, I wanted to take home. I wanted to have that ability. So I went and joined a dating program, and I went out every night, every week. Another example is people that want to become rich, but rich is just the amount of money laying around, right? It doesn't really do much for you if you don't buy any stuff from that money. If you decide to be fine with what you have, then you're not really have a drive to use your talents to acquire more money. So what you think about a huge financial goal. Let's say you want to buy a Lamborghini for $500,000, and you really want to afford it, right? So that means you would have to have a net worth of like 10 million or something like that. at the very least 3 to 5 millions to really afford a sport car like that. That would normally be far out of your range, and you would be relatively poor. You would do fine financially, but you wouldn't be able to afford a sports car or a luxury car. So then you have this goal, getting the Lamborghini or Ferrari, and then you start working towards it because you realize, I am poor. I can't afford that car. An alternative way to induce pressure into your life is to think about how things will look for you in the future. So, for example, maybe you're not the best in connecting to your family. You don't call your family and friends often enough, and so on and so forth. But they're sort of around all the time, right? But imagine in 10 years, if you don't take action and become more proactive in going out and, doing some nice things, making some nice events with people, not organizing anything for your friend, then you'll drift away from your friends, and somehow you lose friends if you don't do anything. So you realize that, 10 years from now I might be alone, so I better do something right now to keep the friendship alive. And that's what I mean by pressure. You find a future goal, future vision that puts your status right now in relative poverty to that goal. So that way you really feel the pressure on you to really want to go there. And it needs to be a goal that you really, absolutely, really, really want. And if you have that goal, or alternatively, something you really, 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 really want to avoid, like being alone in 10 years if you don't connect to your friends, then you feel the pressure, and then you do it. So pressure is a powerful way to put talent into motion. The second point is you need a purpose, a goal, or a strong vision. And I can once again only put to the excellent video by Cam Adair about having a purpose. You need to have something, some overall goal, some vision that you put into your life. That may be like, let's say your vision is you want to travel the world. That's what you want. So, and to do that, you decide to do a website where you do some travel videos once a week, right? So first you go into the surrounding area, take a day trip, record it on camera, and then put that together to a vlog video for a YouTube channel. And then over time, you will grow that channel, more people will watch. You add some cool things that you do so people get enticed to really watch. And then maybe you take some photos and maybe you put them all into a book, make a little travel guide for people that you sell. Now you get more money, and then you can undertake bigger journeys. But what you really a consistent goal is to every week make a video. And that would be your purpose. Your purpose is to make a video every week. And with these smaller steps, you will then manifest a larger purpose, right? You have these small goals, and then your purpose is to travel. And with these small goals, you work towards your purpose every day. And then over time, your vision will also change. You will not only think you want to go to travel Europe, but now you want to also travel Asia, and so on and so forth in that example. So that's a goal, a purpose, a vision. That will make you work towards it, and that will make your talent put into play. Number 3, passion. Strong passion, something that ignites a fire in you. Can be something positive, like in the example before, a sports car that you really, really want. For example, you might want it so much that you watch videos about people driving that car and look at all the technical data and really think about how you can afford that car, what your financial plan is. You have this strong, huge passion burning in you. You do anything in your mind to put it to get to there, right? Or can also be negative. Commute to work sucks, right? So sometimes it sucks so much for you that you really, really, really want to allow yourself to either have enough money to afford an apartment close to your workplace, or to just be able to completely retire and work from home. Strong passion. Never ever want to be stuck in traffic. Never ever want to be stuck in a commute. Great, great, great passion that can propel you forward. Then number 4 is consistency. It is far better to do something. It is far better to do something smaller steps on a daily basis, but regular, than doing a large step and then not doing anything for the next week. What I mean is, for example, it's better if you go to the gym 3 times a week, which you can do very regularly, and maybe your work interferes so that right now you cannot do 5 days a week or 6 days a week. You would like to do 6 days a week, but that you really cannot do. But maybe you can squeeze in 5 days. So you do it 5 days, first week. You completely screw up your rest schedule of things you have to do because you have a lot of other things to do maybe. And then the next week you have to work complete projects that didn't get finished the week before. So next week you don't get to go to the gym at all. That is counterproductive. So instead, do what you can easily get done. So be consistent with, in that example, 3 times gym per week, and then do like 3 times a week. And then, once your work schedule changes, try to change that so that then you can go consistently 5 times or 6 times a week to the gym. But don't try to really do a lot. Or like now we have New Year's Eve tomorrow, and what happens on the New Year's Day? Well, go to the gyms and you see people really hitting it hard for the next about 2 or 3 days, maybe 4 days. Then you come back a week later. 50% of people you saw in the first week in the gym are still there. By the end of the month, none of these people are there. So they don't have a consistent plan. They just hit it hard and then realize after week 1, yeah, I can't really get it done. And then the whole plan goes out the window. No. What you want to set a plan where you do consistent work. Right? And this other example in the accompanying blog article of like 2 shamans that, in Stone Age times, like they both sort of like have a talent to ignite fire by rubbing these wooden sticks, but this is a skill that needs to be honed. And shaman from tribe A just works a whole day on it, ignites a huge pyre, and they have a party that evening, and perfect. And then the next week he doesn't do anything. Whereas the other shaman in tribe B will do a little bit each day, and then over time, after 1, 2, 3 weeks, he will be good enough that he can reliably produce fires for his tribe. So now they can cook their meals, whereas shaman from tribe A is only able to do a huge pyre 5 times a year or something like that, right? So in the end, the shaman from tribe B will be so skilled because he put his talent consistently to work that the next year he'll be able to actually sell his services in igniting the pyre from tribe A, maybe even, right? So you want to be consistent and rather go down with the daily commitment in favor of a more consistent schedule. Really, if you have only 10 minutes time per day, do those 10 minutes time. Or like, let's say, you have only 30 minutes time to work out, or to work on your blog, or to talk to a girl and socialize. Do that consistently every day. And over time, you get really good. It just takes a little while, but since you put in consistent effort, your mind goes back the next day and directly continues where it stopped the day before. Whereas if you do like one crazy afternoon with whatever you do in 1 week, and then the next week you don't do anything, then your mind has trouble getting back into the state it was in before, right? So So consistency is key. Rather do less per day if you can do it on more days consistently or during the week consistently. That's the key. And yeah, to go back to the beginning example of working out in the gym, maybe another possibility is that the guy only goes like half an hour to the gym, right? Only does deadlifts for half an hour, but then every day, and then if you go every day to the gym, you only need 30 minutes usually, and that you can always squeeze in, or do it at home. Number 5, focus on your strengths. So that's very important. So everyone starts in different levels in different skills. For example, I'm used to riding every day now. I think I can ride fairly well, better than I could in the past. So there's some talent there, I think. I love math and science, and I do think I have some talent there, but I'll never become a world-class athlete. That's just simply, it will never happen, no matter how much I try. I could try a lot and then maybe end up some amateur professional level team. Nah, I mean, no. That's not, no, I cannot become really good athlete, right? So for me, I'll focus on writing and science because that's what I can do. So those are where my strengths are. And so what I want to make sure only is that I have halfway decent, that I have some muscles, so that I work out, get some muscles, that I reduce my body fat. Those are things I want to make sure. So you want to make sure that with all your skills, you're sort of on an average level. But then imagine one skill is at 7 and the other skill is at 3. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is winning and 1 is complete loss. Okay, so one skill is at 3, the other is at 7. So if I invest exclusive energy into that skill, which is at 7, skill A, it goes up to 10 and I win. If I put the same energy into skill B, which is at a 3, I'll push it up to a 6. So in that case, both skills are kind of like average and I'm a well-rounded person, but I'm not winning. So I want to bring all the skills that I have, or also the skills also the areas where I'm not incredibly skilled, I want to bring them at least to a passable average level, but I want to really invest into the skill that I'm good at. And that's what you want to do. You want to recognize the skills that you're good at, and you want to focus on them. So focus will actually bring out the talents. That's important because you really don't have enough time to get proficient in everything on this world. So please only focus on your strengths and make sure that your weaknesses are kind of okay, but don't invest too much time into them. Go all in on your strengths. Number 6, the competitive spirit. So anything you do, you give as much energy as you can, right? So, for example, every one of us is a good car driver because we drive cars every day. But that doesn't mean that we're good race car drivers, right? Because race car drivers need to drive every day, but then they also need to push the edge a little bit further. They need to drive faster. They need to learn how to brake properly to get into a curve. Excuse me. All these things, they are much more proficient drivers because they push themselves every day to be a little bit better than the day before. And that's how you want to treat your skills. You want to always give a little bit more. As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, the repetitions 13 to 15 on a given weight, which are almost impossible for you to do, those are the ones where your muscles will grow. So those are the ones you really have to do. And that is basically the case why you see a lot of people in the gym not putting in any muscle, because they are always doing the same repetitions with weights that are not too challenging, and then they don't grow. They don't challenge their muscles, they don't grow. So if you want to grow, you need to challenge yourself. It's number 6. Number 7, social connections and mentors. Important. A mentor will get you connected with other people that can shorten several steps on your learning curve. So you hear from the masters how you really learn it, and then you don't need to go through all the trials and tribulations of learning it from scratch. You're already one step ahead. So mentors and social connections are really important to hone your talents to the best way possible. Number 8, being in an environment where your talent is in demand, right? So if your talent is not in demand, then you tend to not execute on it, and then you don't improve on it. And moreover, you may not even know that you have a specific talent. For example, if you are doing karaoke, if you're you may be really good at karaoke or performing on stage, but you never knew because you've never been subjected to a large crowd of people. Now all of a sudden, maybe you're at a party, you're in a bigger city, you're in a bar that's crowded, and they somehow make you sing karaoke. And all of a sudden you realize, hey, that's good fun, I'm really good at it. And so then you start training for that. But hadn't you gone to the city, hadn't gone to the bar, you would have never learned that you actually are a decent entertainer, right? So you sometimes need the right environment that brings out the talent. Sometimes just stays hidden because you never address it. Number 9 is a primer is basically similar to what I just said. You need to have some, you never know whether you're a good entertainer if you never tried entertaining a group of people. So you need the opportunity to do so. And not to be too confusing, the point before, being in an environment where your talent is in demand, that's basically the larger step, right? If you're in an environment where nobody really requests your services, you will not put your talent into motion. So the environment is key as well. Grit is number 10. There will be ups and downs. When you start on a journey, and in the beginning you get good fast because you just learn so much new things. Everyone pats you on the back and, well done, I love your blog, it's really cool that you started, and so on and so forth. When your blog is up and running and making money, 5 years later, everyone will say, yeah, cool blog, perfect. But year 2 to 4 can be super hard because you don't hear people anymore slapping you on the back. You hear people saying, that blog, forget it. It's not really, nothing comes from it, and do a real job. Don't do that blog. And, don't work on the computer. You need to contact real people, and then you have to be strong. And the way to go through that valley of death, where entrepreneurial dreams come to die, is actually only have your own goals and then measure your progress based on your own goals. There will be times where you don't have the luxury of people giving you feedback. Just not happening. So you need to plow through without any feedback, and you have to give your feedback to yourself, right? So that's why I think that's what grit means, that you plow through the downsides as well to just reach the end goal. And then number 11 is thinking big. I'm just currently reading the book Think Big and Kick Ass by Donald Trump, and he basically says you need to think big to achieve anything, and that's true. If you just go at something and say, let's see whether it works out, you will never take the real steps necessary. However, if you say, I want to be a billionaire in 10 years, then if you're really serious with that, then you will find ways to make money fast. Then you will search out the best mentors to help you there. Then you know that you have to hunker down and work 16 hours per day in the most efficient way possible. you have to have a big goal. Don't let the big goal intimidate you, but you have to think absolutely big. Otherwise, here's the thing. If you drive a Volkswagen Beetle or Skoda or Seat or any smaller car, if you hit the gas pedal, you do like a little bit of a acceleration. So when I drove my mother, we had a Ford Escort. When I drove that Ford Escort, it was almost impossible to like with 60 horsepower. It was almost impossible to overtake someone because the acceleration was so smallish, and it was agony. Then you look at videos of people driving a Lamborghini, where like one video I saw recently, they had a Lamborghini Aventador and a Lamborghini Huracan on a highway, and they filmed from the Lamborghini Huracan. They saw the Aventador coming from the back, and they were already going like 100 miles per hour. And at that speed, the Aventador came from back and just accelerated past as if it was nothing. So if you have a really big car, then flooding the gas will get you amazingly far and with huge acceleration. If you have a small car, flooding the gas will just be a little bit faster then, right? And that's how you have to think. You have to think big in a way that every action that you take will have maximum impact. And you have to make your goals, you have to make your environment, design it so that every step on the gas pedal will have maximum impact. And that's what you do. If you think big, you will tend to go into these larger dimensions and take it all more serious. Don't dabble around. You will focus and search out the best mentors and show grit and everything that comes with it, right? So thinking big is an important point to make your talent, to realize your talent, to actualize your talent. And those are the 11 points to make your talent happen. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great having you here. Even though I had to drink my hot lemon, but it was fun talking to you, and I wish you a great New Year's Eve tomorrow. I'll see you again with your time on this podcast or in this YouTube video. Leave me a comment if you have some additional ideas how to make talent happen. I answer every comment. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe. And otherwise, see you again, guys, tomorrow. All the best and bye.